Yesterday in the comments, a viewer, one of you asked me a question. That question is, what are your return assumptions you use in New Retirement? New Retirement's the software package that I use to create my plan, to update my plan, to verify my plan, stress test my plan, everything about my plans in New Retirement. So what are the return assumptions I have? Okay, so what we're going to do, and I'm going to do this on 3 different whiteboards here. Bucket number 1, just a reminder, is years, starting now, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I got 4 years of expenses in building 1, starting from today. And that money is out of the stock market. It's in CDs, it's in money market funds, in I bonds, in savings accounts, things that are just really not wildly attached to the market. I got bucket number 2 is years 5, 6, 7, and 8 from today. That group of funds I have in 60-40, 60% stocks, kind of some blue chip ones, dividend funds, nothing exciting, not a lot of growth there, but growth and income really. And then 40% in bonds. That's what I have in this bucket. And bucket number 3, I need that money starting in year 9. So it's 9 years out. These dates are important because specifically, and the easiest one to talk about is here, bucket 3. This is 100% in the stock market. So I'm not expecting, 10% return on the stock market this year or next year, but over time, over a 9-year period of time, I do expect it to average a little bit higher number, kind of getting through some of the highs and lows. That played out like in 2022, for example, was a really bad year, but 19, 20, 21 were really good years. Those are years that I was retired. And what you'll find is sitting here, my 5th year of retirement, I'm averaging right at 9%. So long term, the stock market has been pretty good, averaging somewhere in that 8, 9, 10, even 11 range before inflation. Okay, so I'm going to go into each one of these. Okay, bucket 1. CDs, money market funds, I bonds, T-bills, savings, checking. That's where my money is. New Retirement has 2 inputs to it, pessimistic and optimistic, and then it calculates an average, okay? Pessimistic, I put in 2%, I put in optimistic as 4%, and average comes out to be 3%. Some of you may be looking at my optimistic and say, boy, you're getting, I'm getting about 4.6% there, 5.5 there, right around 5 here. Hey, man, you're getting 5%. Why wouldn't you use 5 there? Well, these 2, savings and checking, are a little bit of a drag on that, okay? So that's why I put in 4. When I use optimistic in retirement planning, I don't like to use, I'd like to be real. And I think at these accounts, somewhere around 4% is pretty darn good. This pessimistic may be a little low looking at the next 4 years, but I like to model this in New Retirement. I can quickly toggle between the 2 of these and see my account balances, see if I need to make any tax moves, and any changes in where the liquidity of the money that I have. Some of these things are a little bit tied up, a little harder to get at. These are a little harder. Well, they're penalty. If you 3-month penalty, they're not. You can buy no penalty CDs, but I didn't because of my chances of needing the money are a little bit low for the 1-year duration that those are. So that's what I use. You may think these a little low. Let me know in the comments if bucket 1 you think I'm a little bit off there. Bucket 2, years 5, 6, 7, and 8, 60-40. 60% dividend, blue chip stocks, kind of nothing exciting there. I don't own Tesla in there. I own like Coca-Cola in there. I don't own individual stocks at all, okay? I own all funds, and then 40% bonds. So in New Retirement, my pessimistic entry is 4%. My optimistic is 6%. you're looking at optimistic, bonds, those should get somewhere around 5, could get more if the stock market or if the Fed adjusts the rates down. Bonds could but look pretty good. I made a previous video on that. So I think maybe 4 or 5% is a decent number I should get out of bonds over this time period. We'll see. And then dividend stocks, because this is not too far in the future, stocks, I'd like to be, how should I say, not too optimistic about stocks in the short term. Okay, so years 5, 6, 7, 8, I just dialed it back a little bit, maybe around 6%. So if these return 6.5%, and then my bonds return around 5, I put optimistic somewhere around 6. Hopefully that makes sense. It's not an exact science. It's kind of like a little experience, a little gut feel, lean in a little bit on the lower side. So I think definitely 4% return, where I'm looking out these number of years would not be very good. I mean, if the bonds are getting 5, these stocks, must have lost some. So that's what I use, 4, 5, and 6 inside of my bucket 2. Lastly, bucket, should have put a 3 up here. Bucket 3, this is money I need starting 9 years from now. 9 years from now. 100% stock. I have pessimistic at 5% and entered optimistic as 9%. 9% happens to be, like I said earlier, almost exactly what I've returned since I've retired in this bucket 3, 9%. I got to lean towards growth here. I got small caps and mid caps in here. I'm leaning on some of the factors that small cap, large cap value, growth. I'm leaning on those a little bit more. This could be higher, but I would feel great at 9%. Pessimistic, if over the 8 full year time period, if the stock market only returned a compounded annual growth rate of 5%, I'd be pretty disappointed in that. And I'm an optimist by nature. So 5, 7, and 9 is what I use. I'm not saying any of these numbers are right. The question was, what do I use in the new retirement software for buckets 1, 2, and 3? There you go. The new retirement software, first link you'll come to below is for 2 free weeks. Check it out. It is my retirement plan. So when somebody asks you what your retirement plan is, can you show them something like a new retirement software package, or do you show them an Excel spreadsheet? I don't advise Excel spreadsheets at all. I use them to help me manage my buckets and where my money's at. But new retirement is my projection forward, and where I do all my stress testing for longevity, both Lisa and I, returns, time into Social Security. And I'm telling you, a lot of people have been questioning me on, why do you need new retirement more than 1 year? Well, folks, that question undoubtedly comes from somebody that's still working. Okay, and I've said this several times on this channel. Confidence to spend is a big deal. When the market is down 40%, what is going to ensure you feel confident to go out and spend money? Going through the new retirement process does that for me. I've got a whole cadence. I got a whole video on this, on how I look at my bucket 1, my bucket 2, bucket 3. Are they able to do what they're supposed to do? What are my expenses doing? What's new retirement telling me? That's a whole process I go through once a quarter, and $120 a year for the full service is priceless to me. Confidence to spend, it's a big deal for those living off their investments. If you're working or you got a large pension plus Social Security, you may not need new retirement. For slugs like me, I need to. Let me know in the comments if you use different numbers than me and why, and maybe I'll change. Maybe you'll share some information with me and the community that is insightful. It's Joe out.